I love it when haiboxing release a new product. And here we have the brand new haiboxing 2103. Now this is a 1/14 scale mini drift car, and it even comes with a gyro. Now for a long time, when it comes to cheap drift cars, the SG1603 was unbeatable. And even though it's been a few years, it's still one of my favourite RC cars of all time. But there was one thing I didn't like about it, and it was the fact that it was quite small. It was only 1/16 scale, and it wasn't the most capable. But that didn't matter too much because it was still such a lot of fun. Now this is actually a little bit larger than the SG1603. This is 1/14 scale, and that should mean it is slightly more capable. Now I think this thing looks fantastic. Obviously it's based on a Mustang, so we're going to see if this thing can actually beat the SG1603, because I actually think it can. Now my favourite SG1603 was the brushed version. It just seemed to perform better than the brushless. Now this car here is also brushed, and I think it's going to perform really well today. So in the box we get a black and white manual, we have a decal sheet, and as you can see I have already applied some of those. In here we have some spare body clips and a USB charger. Here we have the battery, and it's a 1500 milliamp hour 2S lithium ion. Finally our haiboxing style transmitter. Now I really like these, they only take 2 AA batteries. We get a foam grip on the wheel, and as you would expect we have our steering trim adjustment, and we've also got a speed switch, which is always nice if you want to turn the power down. This button here controls the LED lights, and that is pretty much it. These are actually quite nice little transmitters. So under the body, let's talk about the electronics first. Now we have a 390 size brush motor. Down there we have a 2-in-1 ESC and receiver. Down here we have a 3-wire servo. Now you know how I feel about friction shocks. I'm not a massive fan, and this thing does come with friction shocks, but I actually think it's going to perform okay because it is an extremely light little car. I don't think that's going to be too bad. And of course, if you want to upgrade these, haiboxing are very good at offering upgrades, and I'm pretty sure a proper set of oil-filled shocks will be available for this. Now it looks like we've got plastic CVDs at the front, plastic dog bones on the rear. I do like this rear diffuser, that's really cool. Down there we have a metal centre drive shaft. Now this thing does feature fixed links, so there's no adjustability. Now this does come with hard plastic wheels, and it does look like this is permanent 4-wheel drive. Under the body here you can see we've got our LED lights, and I'll demonstrate those now. Right, so let's do a quick LED light test then. Now I've switched it on, and when you switch it on you've got your headlights. Now it does look like we've got indicators on this as well, but they're actually green, not the usual orange. Now that said, we do get orange indicators on the back, and if we hit the channel 3 button, there we have our rear lights. This also has a brake light, a reversing light. Now if you want to check out the full spec, I will leave a link down below, so you can head over to Banggood, check this one out, because I think this is going to be a great little performer, and I think it's about time we see how it gets on. Now this little car does have a gyro, but it doesn't look like there's any way to adjust it on the transmitter, but that doesn't really matter because it does do a really good job at keeping it nice and stable, very controlled, and it's very easy to get it to slide. Look how controlled that is. That is incredibly smooth. And I was really hoping this little car was going to be good, because the SG1603 is still one of the most legendary cheap mini drift cars around. And it was so good that they released so many different versions of it. But I think this thing is going to be a game changer. And I do like the fact that it is a little bit larger as well. What a cool little car. Now I almost forgot to mention, if you're in the UK, FTX actually have their own version. It's called the FTX Havok, and it is identical. Now what this means is you'll be able to get parts quick, cheap and easily from your favourite RC store. So far then, the power feels really nice on this, and it definitely feels a little bit more capable than the SG1603. So there we go then guys, what a fantastic little car. Now it's definitely slightly more capable than the SG1603 just because it's a little bit larger. The gyro's really nice and the brushed power system does a perfectly good job at powering this thing. And at no point whilst making this video did I feel like I needed more power. Now knowing haiboxing, they'll probably release a brushless version, but to be honest I think the stock brush system in this is going to be enough for anyone. Now these things are really cheap, so if you're looking for some cheap fun, definitely pick one up. And again, if you are in the UK, have a look at the FTX versions because they are identical. So cheers for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now don't go anywhere, because if you want to see more drift action here on my channel, click one of these videos now.